Hey Mariners, good morning. Sorry I'm out sick today. If you're catching this actually on January 3rd, Happy New Year's to everybody. I want to get back into the Onshape 3D design rather gently here. This design project is a lot simpler than it looks. It's a 3D print of a flexi shark that has the ability to bend right in here. You can squeeze it and then the mouth opens and closes. And what I'll have you do at the very beginning here is to just draw the head and body, and we're going to ignore the neck, and you're going to use this image of an STL picture. Actually, this is a mesh file. This is a 3D print preview picture, but you're going to put this in Onshape, and you're going to trace out the head and body. And again, I'll have you ignore this neck and the slot that goes through this part of the shark here, and we'll add that later. But this picture is available or going to be available here in my Google Classroom once this post is done. Here's a preview of the image that I was just showing you. We're going to put this picture in at 150 millimeters on a new sketch and trace it out on sketch 2. And so this video is going to go over all that. The other thing that I want to mention quickly is that there's also a previous post for the soda can thing, but not a video there for it. The idea is that you have a picture that you're going to trace and revolve in that particular video. And since we're just dealing with pictures and what they can be used for in programs like this, I want everybody in that particular video to draw a center line down a soda can and trace out the profile and revolve it, and then add this picture again to the top of it. Once it's revolved, what you do is you put a sketch on top of the can, and then you add this picture and you move the picture around until it's placed properly, and then you can draw this design right on top of it. And it's a pretty straightforward type. This is just going to be extruded in 3D. You don't have to worry about hollowing the can out or anything when you're doing this part of it, but this is just another way to use pictures to your advantage. And this one was just a stretching of the picture and making it whatever size you want to model out the shape of it, but not specific sizes. Now in this case, we're putting in this picture again. Remember, with this process of adding a picture, you're going to create a part studio and rename it. And you're going to add a sketch to the top plane, which then gives you this menu here where you could drop the arrow down, insert the image, and upload it after you download it to the computer. This is the picture once it's done being uploaded. You go through that downloading and uploading on your own at this point. Stretch this out, and then you're going to use this double-ended arrow, your dimension tool. You could either strike D on the keyboard or click this to turn that on and just go to the bottom or top lines, horizontal lines, click, move outward, click again. When you see that white box pop up, type in 150, 150 millimeters long is what we want this to be. And finish the sketch and sketch again to start drawing. That practice is something that we've done enough. Hopefully everybody kind of has a comfort zone with that now. And you want to zoom in, definitely zoom in. And we're going to start with just the head part here. And I want you to get cozy with zooming in and centering things up and making sure that you can really be precise. And what we're going to do is I'm going to have a straight line and then an arc that I'm going to use to bend this thing out and start my drawing. But the key right now with what I'm saying is that we're going to extend this line to where a curve would come up and meet it. And then we're going to put this bend over here and next. So it's just drawing a straight line, hitting escape. I can't hit escape. I have to right click and hit escape because this recording software just does that. And then we're going to use a conic arc. I know it's a little bit energy intensive to pick these tools sometimes and go into those menus and remember what you're doing with them. But this bendy arc is great. We're going to click on this top point and then right around the bottom of the nose here, and then just stretch this thing out. It's not going to be a perfect copy of what I'm doing, but that's totally fine. This is just an easier way to go about making this design happen. So once you get the bend roughly where you want it, it won't be exactly on top of those lines, like I said, but you can just hit enter when that measurement comes up and you're done. And then this round over tool, you'll see cut tool, sketch fillet right next to it. You can click this. It's going to put a default 5mm bend in there, and you can grab this arrow and just put it where it needs to be. Let go and left click one more time. Come on. There we go. Mouse wasn't cooperating for a second there. And then just hit enter, leave the dimension to be what it is. And then the rest of this is just going to be done with straight lines. But again, it's one of those situations where you want to be very precise, because now we're dealing with moving stuff. If this were to be printed, it would have to be very accurate for it to work just like you want it to. So, and remember, what you're looking for is, it's subtle when you're tracing something, but what you're looking for is when you complete any outline of anything, you want to see a gray area in there so you can and convert it to a 3D object. And so you outline the head in this specific video. I'm just going over the first tracing parts and not how we're going to make it connect and move yet. So you'll follow the same process. You can use this arc in so many ways. You can almost get away with using it in here because it's an interesting bend setup. As long as you have the right consistent gap in here, that would actually work out perfectly so it can be used. And, this is just a matter of deciding how you're going to select the different types of tracing tools to complete this outline and getting it as accurate as you can possibly get it. And I don't need to burn anybody's time here and add to this video at that point. You're just literally going to trace this outline of the entire body, and just so you can see it up close, this is where you're going to cut it off. You can even just draw it in there to make sure it's clearly visible where I want you to go with this. This really doesn't matter where you end it in here, but you're going to leave this section untouched down here to the bottom left of the bottom jaw, and that up in there, that little connector, we're going to get that in after we convert this to 3D. And I'll do that with you all when we're actually back in class together, but this will get you started. So you can work on this today, and you can work on the soda can revolve if you want to go back to that. But this is going to finish up that post. This extrusion thickness, if you do make it complete, you can do a symmetric. What you'll do is, this is going to have to be symmetric so we can keep everything centered. But if you do a symmetric extrude and just leave it at the 25mm default, just so you can get an idea for it, make sure you put the eyeball in there in that sketch too, and it'll cut it right through. You could just use a couple of arcs and draw that eye in there and customize it. You can customize this a bit if you want to. If you want to design your own head for the thing or whatever, it's up to you. But it's a neat, fairly simple project that's interesting because it's actually a functional toy when you're done, or even like a binder clip. If you make these big enough, it's actually really strong. Anyhow, that's a fun engineering design project specific to 3D printing. And again, the outcome is there for you to take a look at and see what your actual goal set here is, what kind of design you're working on. Anyway, post in the comments if you have any questions, and I'll answer everything as best I can. Good luck. Take care, guys.